Aloha Gemini Ohana. My name is Alicia Marie, also known as the Magic Siren, and this is your June 2025 Tarotscope forecast. Today I will be using the Modern Witch deck, the Rider-Waite Centennial deck, the Wild Unknown Pocket deck, and both the Life Purpose and Romance Angel decks. If you are feeling called to any of these decks that I'm using, you can find them all in my Amazon storefront, which is linked below. A quick announcement, I do have a brand new promo code for the month of June. Use SUMMER15, no spaces, at checkout on themagicsiren.com for 15% off all personal readings, both emailed and live sessions. A massive thank you to everyone on our Patreon. Your support means so much to me. I post almost daily over there, so if you would like to join our little magical community, you can also find that link down below as well. And of course, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you never miss a reading or a magical update. Now let's go ahead and dive right in and see what's in store for you this June. Okay, Geminis, let's go ahead and dive right into your June 2025 Tarotscope forecast. Really kind of seeing what is coming in for the month of June, any insight, guidance, or answers that you might be looking for, and anything that maybe we need to just make note of going into this season. Now, it is officially your birthday season, so happy birthday to all the Geminis. I'm really excited to see what's going on for all of you. We have the Five of Pentacles coming out here first. Then we have the King of Wands in reversal. Let's continue on. We're going to get two more cards here, a nice 4-card spread for the month. We have the Knight of Swords in reversal. Quite a few reversals showing out here almost immediately. When we see those reversals, it can really represent something that could have already happened, or there could be some challenges or obstacles that are preventing these energies from kind of showing out in the upright position. We will find out what some of those challenges or obstacles might be as we move through the reading and pull out more tarot decks for clarity. But until then, let's kind of dive in and see what we have on the table here so far. We have that Five of Pentacles in reverse, King of Wands in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, and the Empress showing out in the reversal. I do like the fact that the Empress is still at least showing here. We will have that opportunity this month to really step into our creative and attractive energy. But let's go ahead and start at the top here with that Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles, I always say the Five of Pentacles is kind of like climbing a mountain, right? It's like we're really kind of going through it. When we think about the Five of Pentacles in a mountain, right? The mountain is kind of like this. And when we go from the bottom to the top of the mountain, this is the hardest part of a journey when we are climbing the mountain from the bottom to the top. It takes the most energy, it takes the most time, endurance, and it really asks us to not give up yet. Now, the very pinnacle of the Five of Pentacles is the top of the mountain. So when we get to the top of the mountain, usually we can kind of look out into the horizon and say, okay, what direction am I going to head coming down the other side? And once we come down the other side, that's when we start to see this turning in the reversal, because now it's almost like that hard part of the journey is over. We're coming down the other side of this mountain with a lot of momentum. We've gained the knowledge, the tools, the strength from that initial sort of walking from the bottom to the top. And now we're coming down the other side where things are getting much easier. The month of June overall is going to be a lot easier for you, Geminis. More than likely, the first half of this year felt like we were climbing that mountain, and it was a little bit difficult to maybe kind of get to the top, to get to that place of really kind of understanding that there is a real meaning and message with this sort of going through the steps. But now that we're seeing this in reversal, it's nice because we can slow down just a little bit. We can use the forward momentum that we've really kind of given ourselves with that foundation of walking up the top of that mountain the last 6 months. And now that we're heading into June, things are getting a lot easier. We do have the King of Wands coming out in reversal as well. Now, when we see the King of Wands in the upright, he can really represent this energy of the master of the fire element. So when we see the king cards in the tarot deck, all the kings are the master of their suit. And the suit of wands is the element of fire, but that element of fire is really confidence, passion, motivation, that sort of fiery energy within that pushes us to move forward with that motivation and confidence. This King of Wands is in reversal, which means this month we might have a hard time tapping into our passion, tapping into our confidence, or maybe finding the motivation to continue down that path down the other side of the mountain. We will find out what those sort of obstacles or challenges might be when it comes to tapping into your passions or excitements this month. So we're going to kind of put that on the back burner so that way we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. For some of you, you might be dealing with a fire sign in terms of relationships, whether that's going to be platonic, romantic, or otherwise. And just know that that relationship might feel a little bit rocky this month because they are showing out in the reversal. Now, we have the Knight of Swords in reversal. Now, this is your night because you do have that air element as your main sun element here. Now, if you're watching for your rising or your moon sign, this could also be your elemental night as well. Now, this Knight of Swords, when he's in the upright, he's really moving forward fast. This is the fastest knight in the tarot deck. He really just kind of zooms right in, using that sword to cut away any obstacle or challenge in his path. For some of you, the answer this month for any challenges or obstacles that we might be facing with all of these reversals, the answer is going to be using your skills of communication, logic, and analytics. The sword suit is that element of air. And the element of air is all about our communication skills, the analytics, and how we plan things, how we speak our truth and use our voice to really kind of communicate what the plan is in an effective way. So some of you might feel like your throat chakra is being a little bit blocked this month. That is okay. We will figure out a way to overcome that as we kind of move through the reading. Now we have the Empress coming out in the reversal. Look, the Empress is the most attractive card in the tarot deck. She represents full attraction. So when we talk about attraction, there's multiple different things. But the big one that we really kind of focus in on is the law of attraction. The Empress uses the law of attraction to create or birth the life that she truly desires. When we see the Empress in the upright, it means that we're sitting in that energy. We have no problem understanding that we are the creator of our universe, and we use the law of attraction or the law of assumption to our best benefit to really create the life that we desire, whether it's creating a business plan, creating some sort of opportunity for ourselves, or just creating the environment that we truly desire overall. That's really important. There is something here that is blocking us from feeling that way. Whether this is going to be internal struggles of believing that we have that attraction, maybe there are certain external things that we're holding space for that maybe we need to release in order to have space for our creative expansion. We're going to go ahead and clarify. So let's go ahead and clarify. Let's see what some of the challenges or obstacles might be here as we sort of move through the month of June. Let's go ahead and ask universe, spirit, and tarot for some extra messages here. We're looking for some clarity and insight. Ooh, we have the High Priestess coming out. I love the High Priestess, especially for you Geminis, because you know what? I think Geminis, I am a Gemini sun and a Gemini moon, and I definitely resonate with the High Priestess. I think all Geminis have that duality of being able to really connect with their higher self, their intuition. A lot of us have that inner voice that's really loud and can be very strong with that strength card. I really like that. We'll dive deeper into that in just a minute. We do have the Strength card coming out, which is absolutely wonderful. Really big energies of Leo, and it is showing up on the King of Wands there. So the King of Wands is also fire energy. Maybe you are dealing with a Leo, or we might find ourselves really moving forward during Leo season. We have the Five of Wands in reversal there, and then we do have the Three of Swords coming out. It did come out kind of in a neutral position here. I am going to go ahead and throw that in the reversal because usually when it's in that neutral, we're starting to turn into the reversal. So we'll talk more about that here in just a minute as well. We will clarify with one more deck after this just to get a little bit extra clarity, and then we'll also do a couple of love oracles as well. So just hang tight. Let's go ahead and dive in a little deeper. We have that High Priestess coming out for the Five of Pentacles clarity here. You know, I think a lot of us during the first 6 months of this year have really gained a lot of knowledge on who we are, what we want, but most importantly, what our inner voice says. When we see that High Priestess card, it does represent our intuition, but it also represents the relationship that we have with our higher self. I would really take some time over this month to do a little bit extra journaling, extra breath work, and a little bit of extra meditation. It can never hurt to do those things a little bit more than usual. The high priestess is also coming out though and saying, when we're coming down this other side of things, this sort of shifting of energies is happening here during the month of June for you Geminis. There is going to be the need to continue to listen to that intuitive sort of gut feeling, that gut instinct. So if your gut is telling you to take it easy, then take it easy. If your gut is telling you that we need to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, then pick up the pace a little bit. I think your intuition is very strong right now, especially if you are dealing with terms of relationships or emotional difficult times, especially with that 3 of Swords in reversal. For some of you, this could be a month where you're finally kind of getting over a breakup or the ending of some sort of relationship, whether it was with a friend, maybe you walked away from a family member and cut contact. This could also just be something that really kind of hurt your feelings in the past, where we're finally in this position where it's not necessarily taking our everyday energy and we're slowly regaining our strength back. For most of you, this King of Wands being in reversal tells me that over the last couple of months, maybe we've been feeling the lack of fire element within us. We all have that sort of internal flame, that internal star. But in order for that flame to really shine brightly, to burn strong and really kind of push us forward towards inner strength, we need to make sure that we're tending to that flame. And when we go through certain things like this, where we had some heartbreak, we had some emotionally difficult times, we were really kind of pushing through and we're not even able to slow down, to give up. We had to keep showing up. It can be hard to tend to that inner flame. Now is the month to slow down and tend to that. Maybe taking a little bit of extra time for that breath work and meditation, but also taking extra time for the things that make you feel excited, whether it's dancing, music, writing, crafting, walking outside in nature, anything that you have hobbies for, doing those things a little bit more throughout the month to really tend to your inner flame. And you'll start to see that inner strength will really push you through this month, really kind of coming out solid towards Leo season. We have Cancer season next, and then Leo season is right after. So I'm sure when we tap back in for July's reading, which will be the beginning of Leo season, we might start to see that shift and change, really getting more into our confident and fiery energy that we can embody. Being that air sign of Gemini, you can really kind of use all the elements to your benefit with that air main element of air. So I like seeing this for you. Now we're moving into the second half of June over here, and it seems like there is still a little bit of this energy of like what happened, right? So we have the 5 of Wands in reversal. We're definitely moving away from arguments, tensions, not seeing eye to eye, right? This was probably the last month or so, maybe even the last 5 months, because we have double 5 here, and I'm really picking up on since, January, February, things have been feeling a little bit rough. It might not be terrible, but it feels like maybe there was like an uphill battle, right? We're moving away from that for sure. Maybe this was that relationship that we're kind of picking up on where there was emotional difficulty, and maybe we're completely done. We've cut contact with them, and that's why we're seeing the Knight of Swords in reversal here. I will say this, whatever the situation was where there was some tension or arguments, maybe you had to fight for your point to be seen, or you had to fight for some sort of you had to fight for yourself in whatever way that looks like. It may have given you a little bit of a PTSD moment, trauma responses, that maybe now we're a little bit nervous to speak our truth because the last time it happened, we were really let down. And so because of that, we might be feeling a little bit anxious and stepping back into our Empress energy. But just know that the month of June, this upcoming month for you, is all about forgiving yourself. I am a firm believer that not everybody deserves your forgiveness. But each and every one of you deserve to forgive yourself for carrying the weight of this. You can forgive yourself for having to go down this path of the 5 of Pentacles where there really felt like there was no hope, that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. You can forgive yourself for taking a little bit of extra time to tap into your inner strength. All of that is happening through the month of June for you. And as you start to, because we saw this come out in this neutral position, which means that we're still kind of lingering between this being in the upright and in the reversal. There are some days where we're still very much feeling, this sense of grief and this sense of emotional difficulty. And then there's other days where it's like you're not feeling that anymore, but we're also kind of figuring out, okay, well, now what? Now that I've made these certain decisions, now that I have these certain things kind of going on in my life, how do I tap back into being the Empress? How do I tap back into being the most attractive energy in my life? That aura that I so badly desire to have back into my life. I think the month of June is going to be a very healing one for you, especially if you can continue to tap into your intuition, not second guess yourself, really tap into your inner strength and understand that on the other side of tapping into that inner strength, you start to get confident again. You start to get excited for what's to come. You start to find your voice again, and you're not really nervous or afraid to be the Empress, to be the creator of your existence anymore. Let's go ahead and pull out our final tarot deck of clarity here, just looking for those final messages before we pull out a couple of oracle cards to kind of see what's coming in other ways. We have the Eight of Cups coming out. So yeah, there's definitely something we walked away from here. And that's where that emotional difficulty is really coming into play. Again, this could have been a job. This could have been a relationship. This could have been a living situation. But either way, we walked away from something. And it felt like it was a long process to walk away from this. But you have walked away from it now. And you're at this place now where you're starting to kind of tap into the Nine of Wands energy, which is all about reevaluating our healthy boundaries. Kind of taking some time and saying, okay, this is what I learned from this experience. These are the things that I can put into practice moving forward. And we are finding balance through the month of June, which I absolutely think is fantastic. And again, we're starting to find our voice in a new way with this Ace of Swords in reversal. So I know I kind of tapped in and talked about each one of these already, but just a quick little recap. This is the Eight of Cups. Again, that Eight of Cups says that there was something that we walked away from. And for those of you that didn't walk away from this situation yet, listen to your intuition. It's probably telling you to walk away from this at this time. We have the Nine of Wands, which represents, kind of keeping our guard up, but being with healthy boundaries, taking our time to look at what we learned from this situation, placing those lessons into our healthy boundaries moving forward so it can give us more strength and confidence as we continue through this new month. As we move through this new month, we start to find justice being served, balance. This is my card of karma, as above, so below. Justice really says, karmas are being delivered. And if you're on the right side of karmas, you're going to have blessings being delivered into your life. If you're on the wrong side of karma, well, you might continue to have that Five of Wands energy. But I think the majority of you are on the right side of karma. I think the majority of you are opening yourself up to blessings that are long overdue, and you're learning a new way of communicating along the way. Maybe this is a new love language. Maybe this is, speaking up for yourself the first time you see a red flag in something that isn't right. The Ace of Swords is the universe handing you a sword and saying, here, use this, cut away your obstacles, cut away the challenges. Don't be afraid to speak your mind and speak your truth. All of that energy that you've put out into the universe is waiting for you to use in this sword. And you're starting to learn that. You're starting to use it. And you're really probably going to find yourself by the end of June stepping into an Empress energy where the law of attraction is working to your benefit. I do want to go ahead and pull out our love oracles here. I want to go ahead and get at least one love oracle. This is just an extra message from Spirit and Universe and what's kind of coming in terms of love this month. Let's go ahead and see what's happening. We have let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. This is really wonderful. That let your friends help you card really says that during this time, because we are sort of gently going into this new season of our life, that your community is there around you. Tap into your community. Don't be afraid to reach out to your friends, your family, and kind of say, hey, you know what? I did walk away from this previously in my life. I'm slowly kind of regaining my balance. I'm regaining my inner confidence. I'm trying to listen to my intuition. And maybe I'm a little bit distracted today. Maybe I'm having a hard time pushing myself forward today. Let me lean in on you a little bit. And your friends and your family will help you. So that's when it comes to love and just emotional connections for the month of June. really kind of look inward with your friends, your family, your inner circle, the community of people that rally around you. And I would shift your focus away from any sort of major romantic situations at this time. Let's go ahead and get a general oracle here. These are going to be all extra messages. Oh, we have travel. Your life purpose involves traveling. So for those of you that were planning some sort of vacation, planning some sort of trip, or maybe you need to plan a trip or a vacation, the month of June is going to be it for you. You know, the month of June is like the first real full month of summer. I know that summer doesn't necessarily start until the end of June, but you know, there is that energy of summertime. And I think that having this Five of Pentacles being there at the very beginning of this reading, the first half of the year was probably a little bit difficult to navigate for you, Gemini, but it does show that you persisted throughout the last 6 months with that inner strength. You listened to your intuition, you walked away from things that were no longer serving you, and you're opening yourself up to learn who this new version of you is, being the Empress. If you don't take anything else away from this reading, take away the fact that you are the Empress. Try your best not to second guess yourself. You are extremely attractive on the outside as well as the inside, and people want to get to know you. They want to spend time with you, and you should allow yourself to do that. You think you would be very surprised on how many blessings are trying to come in for you throughout the month of June. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found some sort of clarity and guidance with it. And if you're looking to get a personal reading with me, head over to themagicsiren.com. You can get a personal reading there. We also post almost daily over on Patreon, so I hope to see you over on my Patreon. And other than that, I will see you again soon for another tarot reading here on our YouTube channel, so make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications on. Aloha.